So I'm Charles Owen with Paladin. Welcome to the virtual user meeting for United Hardware. This presentation is chock full of information, different releases and such that we've pushed out over the last year, and mostly in the last 3 to 4 months. So we'll be sharing that information. Some of this may be review information for you, but regardless, there's going to be lots of nuggets of information that I think you'll be able to leverage and attain through watching this webinar. If you get interrupted, if you have interruptions from customers come first. We're going to be recording this. We are recording it now, and it will be posted on our website for everybody to see in the next 24 to 48 hours. So again, let's continue with our what you'll learn. So we're going to talk about our current releases that have happened in the last several months. Talk about the help request portal. There's different ways that you can interact with Paladin and get our attention and put cases into Paladin so that we are able to help you better. We're going to talk about notably a couple of integrations, recent integrations, one with firearms, one with an accounting package, and talk about our mobile services that we've delivered here in the last year plus, and the different apps that are available on those, and how, what advantage you're going to get from those mobile apps. It seems like obviously in this day of the pandemic, day and age of the COVID, we're looking for different ways that we can service our customers. One of those is curbside pickup, and there's other things that we can provide as well as support, extending the services beyond just our store, and that's what we'll talk about there. And then my favorite is a lot of new point of sale features in the system, some specifically for United, others for the general base. So love our United stores. Thank you all for attending. If we have any employees from United, thank you as well. Any reps, appreciate you attending. And if you're seeing it after the fact on a recording, thank you again for your time. So let's talk about the new help menu, right? So we're going to look at in Paladin, you can go to the help button on the very top of the Paladin, and you're going to see a new button there with support with a drop down. That drop down is going to give you an opportunity to do chat support, which you may or may not have had this in the past. In the recent update, we forced it to turn on for everybody. In the past, it's been kind of onesie twosie coming in for different requests to chat, but now I think everybody, and you need to confirm this, has chat support. And if you don't, please call customer service and they can activate it for you. Next is to submit a help request. You can do that as well, and it's going to just walk you through a couple of prompts. Very easy to put a help request in. We just ask that you categorize it. So is this due to a software, hardware? Is it an integration? What specifically is it? And then, we take it and drill down a little bit further. If it's hardware, is it a printer? Is it a scan gun? You can tell us. And then we just ask for you to put in your name and your phone number, and that way we can get back to you quickly and address your issues. You can view all the active requests or all the open cases. You cannot view all of the closed cases. Once they're closed, they go away from view, and now you just have the active ones on the screen. All right, so chat support. If you click on chat support, you can enter your question and get real-time help from Paladin. So help support is available from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. That is Pacific time, Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. So you're able to put in your help request. Hopefully you'll get a pretty immediate response. It pops up on many people's screens, and whoever can grab it, grabs it and responds to it. So try that if you haven't already. I think it's an effective way to get some immediate help. It's great for things like, if you just have a quick question, you need a quick answer, that sort of thing. But obviously, if you're having store down situation, you wouldn't want to send a chat request in. You would submit a help request. And in this case, when you first click on submit a help request, it's going to ask you a question before the screen appears that you see on the screen right now. And it's going to say, is this a store down? It gives kind of a listing of different store down situations. And if you are one of those situations, then you would answer yes. And at that point, it's going to have you call the hotline to get immediate access to fix your problem. All right, so otherwise it's going to show you the different categories and the subject, and you put a description, as I mentioned, your phone and email, and then we will shoot you a little email saying, yep, we got it. So that is going to show up on your email, and it will come to whatever email you put into that screen. So, so there you have it. All right, moving on. So how does this help you? Well, it helps us help you quicker, right? It's categorizing information that's coming from you. It's also grabbing all the information on your current release, your current operating system, what versions you're on, and we're able to take that information and use it to help resolve your case quickly. If there are a number of cases coming at the same time, we can also view patterns here, and we can look to see, is this an isolated incident, or is this an incident that's happening with a group of customers? All right, so let's move on. So new integrations, what do we got here? So the first one is FastBound integration. If you sell any amount of firearms at all, whether it's 3 guns a month or 300 guns a month, FastBound is going to help protect you. So we are integrated with them. They're a cloud-based firearms compliance software product. They help and handle all of the acquisition and disposition in conjunction with Paladin. So in Paladin, we track the serial number. We bring up all the forms that need to come up. We can send the 4473 electronic application to the customer via their cell phone, and it can pop right up and they can answer the questions on their cell phone, or you can use a hard copy and scan it into the system. There are multiple ways to handle that. And all of the firearms received and sold will be updated in FastBound, right? So it handles your electronic bound book. They also have a litany of attorneys backing them up and backing you up should you get a get an audit of some sort, and they do have services to help you on that. It's a great service, a great company. We really like them, and it's helped our customers a lot. Next, the QuickBooks Online integration. So, well, how's this different than regular QuickBooks? Well, this is their cloud version. So if you have the enterprise version or the on-premise version, then that is a different integration. The the QuickBooks Online integration is with the cloud-based product. So just like the enterprise solution, it will synchronize the general ledger activities with QuickBooks. In addition to that, all of the closed purchase orders will be sent over as a payable event in QuickBooks. So as you close POs, they become payable invoices in QuickBooks. So that is a tremendous help. The purchase orders get sent over in near real time, where the QuickBooks general ledger activity gets sent up on a nightly basis. So that's how that works. Expanded mobile device support and apps. So a number of different devices to talk about. First and foremost, we'll talk about the Touch Dynamic Quest 3 tablet. I know some of you have ordered this, and it has accommodated your business needs. Others, it didn't quite fit the bill to what they were trying to accomplish. And it really matters what your goals are, right? I'm going to be talking about some other options following this screen, but this product is great if you want to get access to all the information in Paladin, every feature in Paladin. It is a full-on license, and it works within your network environment. All right, that's key. So you can't take this device and drive to your customer site and bring up Paladin. This is intended to work within the store, but it gives you that mobile access to Paladin, where you can get it from the aisles, from out in the parking lot, wherever you have a Wi-Fi connection, you're going to be able to use this product. So that is the real important thing to note about this. But those that want to do inventory control, maybe work with their customers, sell product, use the EMV chip, it has a built-in card reader as well. One thing to note is that if it's a PIN transaction, it requires a PIN, you have to do that on the system in the store because there's no pin that can that is hooked up to this particular tablet. So again, just to recap, it does everything Paladin does. It's a full-on license. It's usable anywhere within the store within range of the Wi-Fi, and it has a built-in barcode scanner, EMV chip, and swipe slot for your credit card, and signature capture as well. So it's great. All right, to move on to the Samsung Galaxy. Now this product does a very specific job. It just does checkout. But the cool thing is you can do it from anywhere. So you can take this device, pack up your truck or your trailer, drive it out to a flea market, and you can sell products right out of the back of your truck from within your store using this device, as long as you have mobile connectivity, right? So as opposed to Wi-Fi, it can use Wi-Fi or mobile, but it doesn't need Wi-Fi to function like the Quest tablet. This works right off the cellular connection. So it also has a credit card reader that goes into the top. It is swipe only. It is not EMV, but it still works with close to 100% of the cards out there. I think all cards still have swipes on them, at least that I've seen. So that works. It also enables you to do a signature capture. You may also take a photograph. I'm sorry. This is I'm getting mixed up with the delivery app, which will come next. This does not do photographs, but this enables you to run any transaction. So as I mentioned, it's very limited to a specific functionality, and that is you can do checkout from this device. It can recall existing customers. It can recall existing quotations or quotes in the system. It can also store quotes. You can put charges on account using this device, and it will respect your pricing plans or your trade discounts for your customers. So it has a specific function. It's a great solution to, hey, I want to go to, drive around in a truck and sell product. Go to my customer site and sell product right there through my store. You can do that with this device. So here's all the different things I just mentioned. Works on the newer Android device. You can buy the device from us, or if you have one that has the latest update, we can get it loaded on there. And it allows you to sell from anywhere, anytime, right? We talked about all the different tender types you can use, the fact that it has quotes you can store and recall, and also respects the trade discounts and pricing plans. Moving on to the Ingenico Lane 7000 and 8000 payment terminals. So we have moved, actually not we, it was really the payment card industry as well as Ingenico that phasing out the Ingenico 250s, right? Visa and MasterCard, as well as the device providers, the payment terminals providers, have all told us that every 2 to 3 years, they're going to push a new solution so that they can stay ahead of the criminals and reduce fraud, right? Well, they're pretty much holding true to that because they started with the 350, right? They got rid of that within a couple of years. 250, they got rid of that. It's been more than a couple. It's probably been closer to 5. And now they're rolling out the Ingenico Lane 7000. And so we oftentimes have challenges rolling out new equipment, especially credit card readers. We've worked out all the bugs and issues that we've identified. So this is a pretty sound device now. It just requires that you have, the minimum configuration for your computer, and it will work just beautifully. All right, next. So we phased out the VX805. Again, that was something else we had no control of. All of this we have no control over because we're just at liberty of whatever hardware is available, right? So in this case, the VX805, if you have those still, we're still supporting those, but we do have an upgrade path for you. And those that are using Ingenico 250s, you can also look at this as a viable option. It does support WorldPay EMV. It does support PinPad, swipe, dip, all of that. And the only thing it doesn't have on it is signature capture. So if you want to collect signatures, which are required in a lot of cases, you'll want to have a separate signature device, which we sell as an add-on. You can see it on our website. It's called the Topaz Signature Capture Device. And this is, I think, an optimal product for durability. It is one that was made that was it's more durable than a fixed to the counter kind of the Ingenico 7000s, and it's a great alternative and option, and plus it's a little cheaper. So this is our offering to replace the VX805. All right, now we move into the new point of sale features. This is my where I shine, because I think our product shines actually in these next dozen or two slides. So the first one is the 1,000 board foot, square foot, and ton. So we have an option now in Paladin. It's been there quite some time where you can actually set up 1,000 board foot, MBF. If you don't know, M is a Roman numeral for the 1,000, then BF for board foot. That is, it can be activated, so it turns your purchase order into, now on your PO, you're putting the 1,000 board foot cost, and it will translate and transform that into the stick price, right? The each, or the unit, or the the board, whatever the dimensions of boards are. And it handles that at the during the buying process, right? So down below here, this is actually showing the selling process. So we've had the 1,000 board foot from a buying perspective for quite some time. The 1,000 board foot at the selling perspective was added recently because a customer, a lumber yard that does a lot of manufacturing and B2B type sales, they have a lot of people buying in board foot as well. So now we've extended that from, you can either have just the buying side of the 1,000 board foot, so it's modifying your purchase orders accordingly. And then if you want to, you can activate it also on the selling side. Good news is both of these still show the each, or the stick price. Notice down below here, we got 1,000 board foot. Price is $4,833. And the if there's a quantity of one, that one is for a 1x4x8 is $12.89. If you change the 1,000 board foot price, price, it will also adjust that watermark there that you see with the each price. Right, and up above in the top one, you can see where you can activate it. In order to activate the selling side, you first have to activate the purchasing side. So they have to be activated together if you want to sell by 1,000 board foot. It's not common, but we do have customers out there that do it. Another lumber feature that we added, we augmented our footage calculator. I don't know if you've used that before. To get to it is Control K. It's been in the system forever, but we've recently added a square foot calculator so it can handle the boards, the 4x8s and other things, and it can handle the pricing for that. So once you put in the width and the length, it figures out the quantity and the price, and then down below in the notes field, it pushes the the same note that it shows for footage calculator, which is it just breaks down the dimensions for you. All right, so you can either right click and click on square footage calculator, and or just do Control S and get to it that way as well. Also, for building material and lumberyard stores and those folks that do a lot of quoting, even hardware stores that do quotes, we've had the request to number our quotes just to make it easy, right? So a contractor comes in, they go, hey, I got quote number 1235. Okay, great. That's a lot easier than saying, my name is, my account number is, I was working on you with a quote, it had this in it, had that in it. It just makes it a lot easier to recall these quotes. So you can recall them, and you'll see it automatically puts the quote number in the memo. You can see that in the bottom left-hand corner here. Up in the tops of the screen, you see the actual invoice. We reserve the very first line for the quote number, and then it appears on the receipt as well. So we say quote number 6. So you can show a quote, you can show an invoice, and it's going to show you the quote number. Moving on, applying freight costs. So we've had this capability for a long, long time to be able to add freight costs to manually created and receive purchase orders. but we added it recently for the EDI invoices. So with most all of the EDIs that we get, you don't actually know the shipping costs, right? That's something that you find out after the fact. It doesn't come down in EDI or electronic data interchange. So we've given you now the capability to add a freight cost after you receive your EDI. And we just do it by going to the EDI reporting, click on the button below that you see on the bottom, it says apply freight, and then it will change that once you apply freight, it'll push it across either via the cost or the weight of the item. Actually, it looks like freight cost and invoices where freight has been applied, yes. So it just shows you the little checkbox, the green checkbox, after you've applied the freight cost. So you know that something was done to that. And yes, it does actually prompt you with this screen when you click on apply freight. It comes up, it says apply the freight cost to received items and enter it based on either spread it across by cost or by weight, and we can do either of those. And as a tip for this, it is best practice to do this immediately following the EDI invoice processing. It will be more accurate at that point because it just will be. All right, let's move on to customized email invoice message. This is the message you get when you send out invoices electronically. Right now or before this update, it would just send an email and it would have your invoice with your invoice number, and I think in the subject line would have the same thing. Now you're able to customize a message in the body of that email as opposed to just being an attachment. Now you can say, hey, we appreciate your business, looking forward to seeing you next time, and it's from your local hardware store, blah, blah, blah. You can put specials on there. You can put incentives on there to bring people back into your store. It can be used for a lot of different things. All right, create a new purchase order from back-ordered items. I don't know if many of you know about this feature, but this is a tremendous feature because what happens is when you order, obviously you're not always going to get the same product, the products that you order, especially in this day and age. We're seeing anywhere from 60 to 80% fill rates anymore. And it was down below that for a while when the tariffs and everything first hit. But things are getting better. However, regardless, if you generate a purchase order and you receive it and there are back-ordered items on it, you may want to order those back-ordered items again because most vendors don't support back orders. So you can do that. You can just click on the purchase order that you've received, and it will take any item that hasn't been received or partial has been received, and it will create a new purchase order. You just click on the revised PO after you highlight the PO you want, and then it comes right up, and you go into recall a PO, and it's right there, revised PO 142. Here's a revision. The original one was done on March 20th, and now if you open that up, you would see all those items that were back ordered are now ready to be ordered just by a push of a button. Okay, I don't know if anybody's seen this. This has been in for a while. This is earlier in the year of 2020 where we added this, add precision to PO quantity and price. And actually adding to POs is newer. It was the invoice that we added a while back. This one we added not too long ago. So in the purchase order, not invoice, but in the POs, you can actually adjust the quantity and the cost, quantity out 4 decimal places and the cost out 6 to better refine your receiving a product. So this is a godsend for those seed and feed stores out there that are dealing with a lot of stuff. Other building materials as well might fall into this category. We're just going to really help narrow down a more accurate purchase amount. All right, so you can get to that by just right-clicking the mouse on your any item and select Add Precision, right? And that's where you add it and click the update, and you're done. And then it will show it down below with the description of what it did. Schedule reports for weekday only. So if you generate a comparative, or I'm sorry, this is a preset report, and this is for items or reports that you are setting up to run as a preset, and you can actually, as opposed to just doing it daily or weekly or monthly or a day of the week, you can exclude the weekends. So you can do it for monthly or daily and just say, just don't do the weekends. And we can do that for the preset reports. All right, so Excel version of the credit card deposit report. So we've got a number of requests from folks that would like to see all of their transactions for credit cards in a column and row format and be able to interact with them and be able to change them and move them around and do different things. So, and this is a great solution for reconciling your credit card transactions with your credit card vendor, and their portal site usually is where you go to. And now you can go and do finds and look at specific items, sort it by any way you want, and you can look for any discrepancies. So it's a great tool for that. And it's going to also, it can break that down by employee or terminal. In this case, this sample, it's broken out by employees. Customer-friendly transaction reports. So we've added the capability to do a transaction report and push it to Excel, right? And now when you can select that, and you can get a customer-friendly view of that is going to eliminate or omit department cost and margin data. So before, if you did this, it would just do the accounting department one, where it showed you the cost and the margin and department and things like that. Well, now you can make this customer friendly. So if a customer wants to see information in an Excel spreadsheet of their recent transactions or past week or month or year of transactions, you can do that in an Excel spreadsheet and omit that sensitive data. So this is a great solution now, and actually week or month, I should say, because this report is limited to a maximum of 31 days. It tends to be a gargantuan amount of information, particularly if you do a lot of transactions a day. So we've limited this to 1 day, or I'm sorry, 1 month. All right, so here we go. So what's next? Automatically exclude special orders from rewards. So if you don't want to credit your customers, rewards customers, for rich rewards or repeat rewards, and I know a lot of you, a lot of the United stores out there are using repeat rewards, and some are gone to rich rewards as well. Either solution, you can identify a class of product that will not credit those rewards. All right, so this might solve a lot of problems because you can rack up a lot of points. Special orders oftentimes are, in the thousands of dollars, and you can just say, well, for these items, I don't get a lot of margin, so I can't really extend any additional discounts. Well, the rewards points are one of those discounts that it can suppress. EMV stores, swipe credit cards to put them on file in Paladin. So if you use the stored credit card feature in Paladin, where you can store up to, I think, 5 credit cards, and it stores them safely because it stores a token, as you know. It doesn't store the actual toxic credit card data. There is you are able to do this on the 250 payment terminals, but on the new 7000s, it was not a feature that was built right in. So we had to write it, and we wrote it. So the default is manual entry if you go to put in a credit card and store it. But if you wish to swipe it and to put it in, you may do that by unclicking the manual entry button, and then it will prompt you to swipe the card. And at that point, it will be able to take that information and populate the information as a stored credit card in the customer's record. And again, this is all protected information. None of this toxic data is actually stored on Paladin. So it's a great feature. Next is new item fee details report. So this was the core charge, if you recall. If you look in Paladin on the general tab, you're going to see on the right-hand side towards the bottom, it's going to say core charge. Well, now you can change that, and you have been for a while been able to change the core charge to any text that you want, right? In this case, it was changed to required fee. And now we're able to, the existing feature lets you set a fee on an inventory item that will be included at checkout, right? Set the fee on the general tab in the item information pane. The fee name can be customized. And in our example, like I mentioned, the fee name is required fee. Turn on this feature, just go to Setup, Invoice Store tab, and select Use Alternate Core Charge Identifier and put in the new name for it. All right, what's neat about this is kind of the extension is now we've created a report. So you can see an analysis of all the different fees that were collected. And you just go to sales analysis, what I need to know, required fee details. Now, if you put in paint fee, it's going to say paint fee details, right? So it's whatever your name is, it's going to put it in on that report menu. And then what you're going to see is an Excel spreadsheet. So it pushes all this out. And now you can see it breaks it out by classes, and it shows you the different fees for the different class of products, right? So a list of collected fees in each class with the transaction details is what you see here. And it says the best practice to make sure all items with fees are assigned to a class. That way you're going to get it categorized. Fees for items with no class will be assigned to a tab or a Excel workbook that says no class category. All right, moving on. New admin access level replaces admin passwords. So I can't tell you how many times we got calls on a daily basis for, I forgot my admin password. I forgot my admin password. It's not the 4-digit one that you use to log into Paladin. It was the extended one, the more secure one to protect people from getting into areas of sensitive areas of the system and the setup, things like credit cards and employees' permissions and things of that nature. So what we decided to do is we decided to simplify this process because we got a lot of complaints that, hey, you know what, can't I just do my admin thing without putting in a password? So we've eliminated the need for a password, right? However, we have put in under access levels, you can see on the bottom left-hand corner, we have put in a checkbox for admin access. So if anybody had an admin password and were granted admin access, they will now have access to it again, but they won't have to remember their password. The passwords have been eliminated. All right. Now, beware. There might be some employees who have or had admin access in the past, but either their password expired or they don't remember, and you don't necessarily want them to have access to admin these days or for any longer. You'll need to go in and uncheck the admin access under the employee tab so that they are excluded from the admin level features. Again, networking changes, credit card changes, employee permissions, and that sort of thing. All right, so hopefully, two reasons for this. One, reduce your frustration so you don't have to sit there and call Paladin to get a new password. And two, to reduce the amount of calls that are coming into Paladin so we can better support those that have more pressing issues. All right, moving on. Itemized taxes on receipts. So there were a few receipts that were coming up where there were the total didn't actually match the taxes. There was, because of rounding, could have been a 1 cent off. Never be more than that, but it could be 1 cent off. Very rare, happened on a very rare occasion. But when it did, it kind of, made you cock your head a little bit, say, what's going on here? Why don't the totals match the total, or the subtotals match the total? And that is because of the complexity of taxation and percentages against and across different totals and subtotals. So what we've done now is only if you are showing your individual taxes, and that's normally, I know the state of California, you have to show the lumber tax. So I can almost guarantee you everybody that sells lumber in the state of California has to show the itemized taxing. You're going to see this. If you don't show itemized taxing, you just say a general tax field, and it's a compilation of all the different tax municipalities, you won't see this. It's not going to affect your life whatsoever. But it is something that reduces the mystery as to, well, why is that number different? Well, now we go all the way out 6 places, and it tells you what's going on and why it's that way. All right, now some things that are coming soon. Now this is, I believe we're getting to the end of the presentation. I mentioned it might go 30 or 40 minutes. It's been 41 at this point, considering I started 5 minutes late. We actually have another 4 minutes, so that's good. I want to talk about this feature coming soon. So Hardware Hank or United is coming up with an e-commerce integration. So they're going to be developing an e-commerce, we're developing an e-commerce integration that will upload your store's inventory data to the new Hardware Hank online store. Inventory data will include prices and stock on hand, and that will be able to keep that information updated. So if somebody's shopping in the Hardware Hank online store and they see your store or pick your store, they're going to see the prices that you charge, and they're going to see the stock on hand that you have in the store. Okay. Couple of other things. I think there's some other things I think deserve mentioning, and I believe most customers have this now. But in our purchase order process, when you're submitting EDI, it's going to, well, I'm thinking if it's supported on different brands. I'm gonna hold off on the super secret stuff that's coming in the future, so that I can have something for the future webinar, as well as not say something that we don't necessarily have. So for additional information on what you've got here, you can go to Paladin 2020 Release Guide under the Help portal. Again, you can get to that by just going portal.paladinpos.com, and you can search for new features. You can search for summer or 2020, or you can just put in the exact URL as you see here, and you will see a long listing of these items. This webinar will also be, you can replay this again, show it to your other folks as well if there's some good content in here that you want other people to see. Good news is when you're watching it, you can fast forward and you can look at the different areas that you have interest in and pass by those that you don't necessarily have interest in. We are open for questions. I don't see any questions at this point, but I will wait a few minutes before we actually leave here. Looks like there is a question I have here. And it says, oh, there are questions we got here. Hold on. All right, so most of them were because of my sound in the first 5 minutes. Yes, thank you all. All right. Use store gift cards through Paladin and repeat rewards. I don't think we actually, just not thinking we actually support the repeat rewards gift cards, because that's another terminal that you would have to have. But we do support gift cards through our WorldPay, and that enables you to have gift cards and sell gift cards branded by your store, right? And you have access to that. Some of you may be using that, some may not be using that. But yes, in fact, we do support gift cards. And I think if you contact Repeat Rewards and you want to honor and use Repeat Rewards gift cards, they may have to provide you with a separate terminal for that, because I don't believe, and I'm about 85% sure on this, I don't believe we support the Repeat Rewards gift card program. All right, so the next question is, this was regarding the new, okay. Can the consumer insert their card anytime? Well, that's a good question, Michelle. Actually, I know that was an issue before. We have since resolved that, where you can insert your card at any time. I believe if you just don't touch the screen or the card, it will time out, and I think it's just a couple of seconds, and it will take the card information. And I believe in our new Ingenico machines, the 7000s, I'm just not well versed enough on that to say whether or not you have to wait. I haven't heard complaints about it, so I would assume that you can insert it anytime. But half the stores I go to, well, most of the stores I go to, actually, you have to wait to insert the card when it says insert the card now, right? I don't know. I'm just going to say I don't know because I don't want to steer you wrong. But if anybody is using the Ingenico 7000 machine out there and you want to chime in and give us an answer, please go to the question area of your screen and just type in, yes, you can insert it anytime, or no, you have to do it when it requires it. And we can always get answers to those questions too by just contacting customer support as well. All right, well, we have a lot of people that have hung out this entire time. Most everybody did. I appreciate everybody's time, attendance, and attention. I am going to sign off now since there's no more questions. And it has been a pleasure talking with you today. We love our United Stores. We want you to succeed. We want you to be successful. And we know it's a trying time right now. And obviously, we've been kind of limited, and the state of Oregon's been on lockdown for quite some time. We've lost a number of restaurants and bars and any other place where you find entertainment and have fun. But we're living through it. We're going to make it, everybody. And I think I have another question coming in. Here it is. So is there a swiper that works with the Mobile 2 app on an Android device? Yes. Mobile 2 checkout, the device that's a small Samsung that you can take anywhere in the world and sell out of your store, does come with the screen that I showed a little picture of a plug-in that goes into your headphone jack on the top of your phone. You just plug it in, or on top of the tablet. And yes, you can swipe cards, but there is no dip at this point for that. But it does allow you to swipe it. And we can set it up for those stores that are EMV enabled in the store. We can make a non-EMV enabled swipe work on the Samsung. So yes, that absolutely works, and that's something that you should consider if you find it useful. It's not that much. They're sub $700. I mean, I say that's not much. It's a lot of money, but still, for the practicality and the additional services that you can provide your customers, I think it's a worthwhile consideration. We have a number of customers that are using it today. They love it. It can also be used as a line buster, right? You got a line, it's building up. It's like, hey, pluck people out here and there. You only have 3 items. Let me do you on this phone real quick. Boom, boom, boom. See you later. You can walk customers through the store with this device and sell products, and walk them out to the parking lot and complete the sale, picking yard items, and complete the transaction right there. Put it on their account. Swipe the credit card. Take cash. However you want to do it. All right. I think I've given ample time for additional questions. It has been my pleasure. Again, as I mentioned, it's been about 45 minutes here, so it's a lot of time. And we are going to post this on the webinars, so you'll be able to see this in the future. And I'm just kind of waiting to see if there's any more questions, and there aren't. So I'm going to sign off. Thank you all so much. You can always reach us through our portal site. Go to our, submit a case, chat with us. PaladinPointOfSale.com, retail science, all types of information you can glean from Paladin. And God bless you, everybody. Be safe and take care.